How did we go from the brink of divorce to full-time RVing in a 400 square foot RV?
Welcome back to the RV Odd Couple. My name is John.
And I'm Mercedes. Long story short, we sold all of our possessions to live this dream of freedom, independence, and adventure.
And we're doing exactly that. And in today's video, we're going to share with you the backstory of Long Story Short, which is a quick story of how we got to full-time RVing and what we do today to keep our marriage strong as ever.
Yeah, because what good is living this awesome, independent, adventurous life if the person you're sharing it with and you are at odds, right? So
It's not going to work.
Exactly. Having a good marriage is really key. We're not trying to say that RVing can save every marriage, but I would say that it saved our marriage. And so this is a little bit of the backstory of how we dug this hole, and this is how we got out of it.
So Mercedes and I met almost 11 years ago now, back in 2008, and we were both living alone. We were friends for the first year that we met, and we fell head over heels in love with each other. We were with each other all the time. We did everything together, and we were pretty happy. Now, Mercedes wanted to get married right away. I did not, and in the beginning, Mercedes didn't want to have kids.
Well, that's true, okay? And I didn't mean to bait and switch them, but I kind of did. And it's just that I grew up, right? And what you want changes.
Yeah, and let's be real, guys. I hit the jackpot, right? There's no way. This girl eventually is going to wake up and find the right guy, not me. That's just what I thought. My friends used to say that you and Mercedes working out are slim to none, and Slim just left the building. That they used to say that, but ultimately we made a decision after being together for 5 years to get married, and Mercedes talked me into having a baby.
I had to convince him.
I was 49 years old, and so we got married. We got pregnant 6 months later. Mercedes left her job and came over to work for my remodeling company, who was doing pretty good. But when Mercedes came in, it really took off.
I wish I could take all the credit, but it's, you know what it is? We realized how good we work together, because being opposites is excellent in a team, because I am strong where he is weak and he is strong where I am weak. Right. So we were so crazy busy. We had multiple crews. It was insane.
We started winning awards all the time. People started waiting a year to get our services done, and all we were doing was what we've always done, which is to give people the best service and to do exactly what we tell them we were going to do.
Yeah.
The company took off, but I did start working 70, 80-hour work weeks.
And then we had the baseball glove incident.
The baseball glove incident.
It was scary.
So Mercedes, I get home, Mercedes starts making me dinner. I sit down at the table, and I have this memory of my dad in a baseball glove, and I start telling Mercedes about this story, and I cannot say the word baseball glove. I couldn't find the words, and I started getting this strange flashing out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, and so we take him to the hospital, and mind you, this is not the first time I've taken my husband to the hospital.
Usually I drive.
But he's so headstrong that he normally drives. Well, this time he lets me drive. So I'm thinking, oh my God, he's dying, right?
He's scared.
Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah, and it was a real wake-up call for us. That
And the doctors basically told us it was stress. I was working too hard. I was too stressed out. I didn't have a stroke. I was in good condition. I was in good health. But it changed everything in the way we looked at the way our life was going. The money was great, but the workload was just way too much, and I just couldn't handle it anymore.
It wasn't sustainable. And so right along that time, I think we had also gone on a trip to Florida. It was November, and the temperature was excellent. Yeah. And we look at each other and we're like, why are we living someplace that snows? What are we doing?
So we made a decision to sell the company to a guy that had worked for us for quite a few years. Great integrity, a Marine, and sold our house, and we started planning on buying our dream home in Florida.
Yeah, and so at this point you think it's going to be perfect, right? This is what Disney means when they say happily ever after.
Beautiful wife, 49 years old, sell my company, move down to Florida on the Gulf of Mexico, boat in the backyard, right? It's perfect.
No, it's the darkest and hardest time of our lives. We're better for going through it, but it was hard.
Mercedes now is pregnant. We arrived there. The house is a mess. And I start getting to work. It's time for me to remodel this house and make it the dream house that I knew that it could be.
While he was working on remodeling, I guess Jimmy Buffett was on the radio a little too much, and 5 o'clock started getting a little earlier.
Yeah, I went from working 80 hours a week and running crews and taking care of lots of different customers every week to having nothing to do except to remodel and make this house my dream house. So the baby came on my 50th birthday. Sage and I have the same birthday.
Except for 4 hours. I got my timing off a little bit. And he was born at 4 in the afternoon. She was born at 8.
So God does have a strange sense of humor.
That's right.
It was a perfect picture. We were the youngest couple in the neighborhood. We had one of the nicest homes in the neighborhood. Everybody was older than us. Outside looked great, but the inside
we were dying.
We were both dying.
We were dying.
We were so isolated from each other, and at that point, Mercedes asked me for a divorce. She said, I'm done.
Something crazy started happening when we were looking at selling the house and getting the divorce, right? Because we had to work together to separate things, and I found a little house to rent, and he was going to put his tools in the garage.
In her garage, and buy an RV and go off and live my life of independence, freedom, and adventure.
But we're working together to get these things done. This wasn't like I hate you, you're evil.
No, we were past that.
Yeah, we knew that we were going to have to be a part of each other's lives forever, and she was going to have birthdays and stuff, so we were trying to work through certain things. And so something happened, though. We were suddenly able to be brutally honest with each other. Because one of the things that had happened before was we wouldn't fight, we wouldn't talk. We would just go in separate rooms or separate levels.
I was in the house before it finally closed. And on the day that it closed, we met at the closing table. It's probably one of the worst days of my life. I was sitting down and selling the house that I felt that I had worked my whole life for. And it wasn't Mercedes' fault. It was me, and it was drinking's fault, right? So we sold the house. Mercedes is over at her rental unit, and that's where she's gonna live with Sage, and I'm gonna go buy an RV. And something hit me that day at the closing where I just saw real clear, took a really good look at the way my life looked, and I wanted to watch Sage grow up. I wanted to be more involved with Sage's life. I wanted to change diapers. I wanted to be involved with her raising. And so that night I actually left the closing. I went back to the house with Mercedes, and then she... Tell me your story.
He's making me cry. Okay. No, I don't want to cry. But it was a shift because, okay, when you have nothing to lose, you can be like this, like more honest. And so I started seeing him doing the little things, and it's funny because back then a poopy diaper and he'd be like, I'm gonna die. And now he cleans up that poopy like a champ.
I brush her teeth, I give her showers. I'm involved with raising her, which I've never experienced before.
She actually prefers that he brushes her teeth, and they have their own things that belong to them now. And so it actually ended up being the best thing that happened to us. And also we got rid of so much stuff that worked us on that journey. It was really, really good. But oh boy, was it hard. But it builds you, right? And so the other thing that happened is I started working on myself, stopped trying to control him and what he's doing, gave him the space, and then he's suddenly being this man that I'm like, whoa, this is the guy that I married, because I saw how he was with his first 3 kids, and I loved that. That made me want to have a kid with him. That's his own fault, right?
I got 3 older, beautiful children.
Yeah, and we had talked about RVing even in the big, beautiful house. But the more
long story short, she seduced me the night we closed on the house. I went over to help her with the few things in the house to get her ready for her new life and her new
really
rental apartment. That night, I ended up spending the night there.
Yeah, I seduced him.
Yeah, I'm a lucky guy. So I started trying to sell her on the idea, hey, let's take the time that we're here in this rental. Let's move into an RV full time, and let's create a brand new life for ourselves.
And something really important started happening. Instead of him watching his shows and me watching my shows on separate TVs, we started watching YouTube on the same television.
Together.
And cuddling in the same couch. We had done that,
And making plans and start planning for what this life's going to look like. And then we started looking at RVs, and then we started buying all the stuff.
So RVing helped save our marriage in 5 ways. And so the number 5 is that it gave us a plan, right? We were unified on the same plan. Mm-hmm. We were working towards a common goal like we hadn't done in years.
Exactly. So our days became filled with planning about the right RV, the right truck, the right equipment, the right tools that we need to live this lifestyle. along with, we made a decision that we were going to try to do what these other YouTubers were doing, which was just to document it.
Yeah.
But we were going to do it in a way that was really clear and honest, even if it was embarrassing to ourselves, which we've done, and tell the truth about it and talk about the things that no one else was going to talk about.
So we're going backwards here. So the fourth way that RVing helped save our marriage was roles, and this can take on many, many forms.
Yeah, and this was huge. It was clearly defining what Mercedes' role was and what my role was, and my role is the outside. Mercedes' role is the inside, and we share the roles of Sage.
Well, yeah, and I don't try to go outside and organize his tools, because if I were to do that, I'd put them in alphabetical order.
Yeah,
like the hammer
and I
and the
would
nails.
have a stroke.
Yeah. John is taking this role of the man. He's handling the stuff outside. He's got the stuff in charge. Even the way he drives the truck is hot sometimes. It's like, oh man, I can't do that. That's incredible. We have these roles not just on setup day and travel day kind of thing, but we have these roles in our day-to-day that is just so fulfilling in our marriage. Number 3 is adventure. This is the fun part, because we're on the adventure of our lives together.
We're living one day at a time. We're documenting everything as we go. We're figuring out the right way to do it. We're also figuring out the wrong way to do it. We've gotten pretty popular on mistakes. But we're having a great time, and we both are loving our lives right now. We're in love again. We are cohesive again. We're still staying on our goals. We have to work together every day for the next video or the next this, and we're both raising Sage together.
Yeah, and it's such an adventure. Like, we took you guys along on our Sedona adventure. Yeah. So the second way that RVing has really helped our marriage is that it forces us to work it out. No more you live upstairs, I live downstairs.
You can't stay pissed off for long in an RV. You know, I'm too damn old to waste any more time. I'm a blessed man. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful family. I have 3 older, beautiful children who are all doing great. And there's just no time to waste. So that when I get pissed off at Mercedes, I got to figure out a way to get over it quickly. And one of the ways that we're doing that is we're talking about everything. I may take 5 or 10 minutes and take a walk around, you know, whether it's through the dunes right now or on the beach or through the mountain trails that we're staying. It just depends on where we are. Number one reason why RVing is great for a marriage?
It's teamwork.
Yeah, it's completely teamwork. Yeah, it's 100% teamwork. Mercedes and I do everything together. We're together all the time. We rely on each other. But the truth is we're on the same team. And ultimately, our goal is to document this whole process, what it's like, what to do, what not to do, so that ultimately we can help other people live the life and enjoy independence, freedom, and adventure. That's our goal.
But it's really hard to achieve that goal if you can't get along with the person that you're with. And one of the things that really cemented it clear to me was right before we left Florida, my best friend came over, checked out the RV for the first time, and we had her watch our buying mistakes video.
First video any of our friends ever watched.
And I was showing it to her, and at the end of the video, she starts crying, and she's like, "You guys are a team.
Right.
You guys are together." So if you like this video or have a heart, give it a thumbs up. If you don't have a heart or don't like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch the next video. It's even better than this one.
Be free in RV.
Woohoo!